Here we have a 5,000 square foot value add retail investment in Tampa, Florida. We have one 2,000 square foot space as well as three 1,000 square foot retail centers. As you can see, this building needs quite a bit of work. Everything from the parking, the facade, the interiors, the landscape all need to be renovated before we can get tenants in. All right, so here we have a tattoo parlor. This tattoo parlor, this unit is actually one of the units that are in better shape here. We have multiple rooms sprinkled throughout the unit as they were tattoo rooms. We're gonna tear the floor up, get all the way down into the cement. You can see it here, but then we have carpet. The rooms have their own flooring. All these walls are gonna get torn down. None of these are load-bearing walls. So all these walls are gonna go. The cabinetry here is gonna get torn out. And we're gonna return this to a beautiful shell condition. Everything in all these rooms is getting torn out. It's just gonna be one big box. This one is the only 2,000 square foot space. This is one of the larger spaces. As we move into here, same thing. I know it's a little dark, but these rooms are all gonna get torn out. Everything other than that room, which is the bathroom back there, is gonna get torn out. We're gonna paint the walls a nice, beautiful white. Same thing with the panels. We're gonna upgrade the electricity. And the goal is to bring a tenant into this building that's gonna come in and operate their business, 2,000 square feet. So it opens it up, a nice different variety from the other 1,000 square foot units. And we have the restroom in here, nice big restroom. Here we have what used to be an office space, but this is gonna get torn down. If the tenant prefers to want the office space, they can build their own demising walls. These were all tattoo rooms going all the way down. And here we see some intrusion. The ceiling tiles obviously are gonna be replaced. And we have more of the water intrusion from the roof that really damaged these ceiling tiles and this drywall over here. All right, so this unit used to be a risque lingerie store. So this one's actually probably the one in the worst shape. Luckily, we don't have too much drywall, but in the back, as we get there, we'll see some of the damage here. Luckily, the flooring is in pretty good shape. We have a little bit of drywall work here. And this one is pretty clear cut. We're gonna tear down these walls here. These right here are non-load bearing walls. Again, to get that shell space so tenants can really come in, put up walls where they need to, make office space where they need to, and really, get their business up and thriving. So here we have what could be an office space for the business, or if the business would prefer, we could just go ahead and take this down. And then back here we have utility closet with water heater and HVAC. These also have yet to be tested. So as we turn utilities on, which is one of the things we have in these value add projects, is you're kind of walking into a question mark, So we were unable to get these tested during the property inspection report because we didn't have utilities on. So purchasing some of these more hairy deals, as we like to call it, yeah, there's more risk involved. These may need to be replaced, but if you budget for these to needing to be replaced and they turn out they don't need to be replaced, you can save some money there. This one, there was some roof damage up here. There were some openings. So because of the Florida humidity and the rain, we see a lot of damage here. All of this is aggressively degraded wood. All this wood is gonna get torn out, and this drywall right here is gonna get repaired. Here we have another office space. Everything from here, this is gonna be one shell space all the way down. Obviously these bathrooms are gonna get repaired. New vanity, new toilet, as well as the electrical panel is gonna get modernized. This is the one we were unable to open those. All right, so this is another unit, also in fairly decent shape, but as you can see, it needs some work. You gotta get the drywall, repaired over here and over there, as we saw in the other units. Upgrade some of this stuff or remove it and let the tenants do the work. One of my favorite things about retail is the tenant will actually upgrade the property for you. If you give them a blank canvas to really work on, they'll come in and bring their business to fruition. This used to be some kind of beauty salon because you can see here, we had water sources, which you could do sinks, you could do whatever you need to for your business. very common in hair salons, nail salons, where they need sinks for their customers. We got a room back there, but all of this will be taken out. Obviously, we're gonna replace the tile. Like I said, our job is to create an environment in which tenants can come in and really use their creativity to make this space their own and operate their business successfully. So this is one of the 1,000 square foot spaces. As you can see here, this one used to be full of papers everywhere. We had the previous landlord, remove all of the documents and clutter that was in here. As you can see, I'm not sure what the previous use was. I think it was a food store, but the goal is just to get this in shell vanilla condition so the next tenant can come in and plug their businesses, whatever it's gonna be. So we'll probably get this countertop out of here. We got ceiling tiles to remove. As you can see, there's all the ceiling tile here. We got drywall work that needs to be done. This flooring right here is peel and stick, low quality flooring. All this is gonna be torn out. And you'll see the videos, but at the end, this is literally just gonna be a full shell space, plug and play for any tenant. If we come down here, we have the restroom down there. We're gonna need some mold remediation over here. Electricity's not on yet, so it's a little dark. We're gonna get some mold remediation here, and we're gonna renovate this bathroom. Electrical panels are gonna be upgraded. But overall, it's in fairly good shape. It just needs to be returned to a usable condition to get a tenant and plug it in. Current rates, we're expecting $18 a square foot on this retail center. And we're expecting, within 3 to 4 months, this place will be ready to get a tenant, plug them in, and get this place up and running, get this place occupied.
Hey guys, so I'm back to California, back in my office, and I thought I'd spend some time going over the numbers with you guys, just so you guys have an idea of what the project's going to make, what are the returns going to look like. So first we have the costs here. We have the purchase price, holding costs, and renovation costs. So we purchased the building for $300,000, and then we have $7,500 in holding costs. So those holding costs are like insurance while the building's vacant. We also have taxes while the building's vacant, and interest. We borrowed $200 out of this $300, interest only. So for the four months we're renovating, I'm assuming it's going to take 4 months instead of 3. So for the 4 months we're renovating, it's going to cost $7,500 just to hold the asset in costs. And then we got a quote from our contractor for $81,000, and then we just added 15% on top of that, took us to $91,000 in renovation cost. This right here is probably the biggest variable. This is pretty easy to calculate before closing. The $7,500, you can figure out, get a quote on your insurance, figure out what taxes is. You can figure out what you're going to pay in interest on this loan, or what your monthly payments are, and your renovation cost. So far the plan is to spend $398,500 all in on the acquisition, the holding costs, and the renovation costs. Also in this renovation cost is leasing costs. So you have to pay a broker to fill this unit up. It's not something we're gonna do ourselves. So we got to compensate a broker to bring those tenants, show them the space, write the leases, etc. So don't let all this jargon scare you away here. So we have the stabilized NOI at $16 per square foot. So retail rents on a per square foot basis. And they're triple net leases. That means the tenant's going to pay the insurance and the taxes. So literally what the tenants pay in rent is what you get to keep, other than paying, your mortgage, but that's not calculated into the NOI. So the only thing left, literally, they pay rent into one account, the mortgage gets taken out, and then whatever's left you get to keep. So the stabilized NOI is $16 per square foot. Although we believe we can get $18 per square foot, we're going to underwrite at 16. Okay. And this is a 5,000 square foot building. So we have 5,000 square feet times 16. That's $80,000 in NOI. And all expenses other than the mortgage are passed down to the tenant. They pay taxes on the property. They pay property insurance on the property. So, and common area maintenance. So the lights outside the building that we're going to install, they literally, what they pay in rent is what you get to keep minus your debt service. So the building is going to have an $80,000 net operating income. And then commercial properties are valued on a cap rate. Cap rates in that market are around 7.5, 7.6, but we're going to underwrite an 8 cap. And actually increasing the cap rate on the sale hurts the valuation. I know it's kind of counterintuitive, but the higher the cap rate on the valuation, the lower the price, because you divide by the market cap rate. So if you divide this by 0.08, we're bringing in 80,000 NOI, we divide it by the cap rate, which is 0.08, that brings us at $1 million valuation. So now we're thinking we're going to take this building from spending $400,000 in total, $300,000 to purchase, $7,500 during the holding period of renovation, $91,000 during renovation, into $1 million building. So it's actually very similar to single family flips. The biggest difference is how the building is valued on the exit. It's not, you're not going out and grabbing comparables of renovated buildings. You're more figuring out what the building's bringing in and then doing a cap rate on it. So that's kind of the idea. So over 6 to 7 months, we took this building, we made the necessary renovations, and now it's $1 million building. And now we can decide, do we want to refinance? Do we want to sell and take our 600 grand off the table minus costs? So now we're in a position where we can decide what we want to do. So yeah, I do these type of commercial value add projects, long distance for the most part. I do fly out there every once in a while to, especially when we're under contract, meeting with the contractors. In that in the video from before, I was meeting with 4 or 5 contractors, getting quotes, getting estimates, picking a contractor that's going to do the work. And then I'll head out again once the contractor tells me the work's done before we submit that final payment to them. I'll have more videos talking about how to do value add projects, construction projects, long distance. But for this specific property, we have about a $600,000 spread, and it's going to take us 6 months. And then we can decide, is this something we want to hold? Is this something we want to sell and take our money off the table, 1031 into another value add? So we have options once we get there. The real hurdle is this part over here, the renovations, making sure they're done right. I've already had issues from the point I'm recording that first part of the video till now, which a couple weeks later, already having problems with contractors, got to switch them out. You know, we could end up spending 120. I mean, it's still looking like we're going to be able to stay in under 100, but renovations tend to go above. Even though we add 15% to our renovation costs, renovations tend to go up from what you think. So it's just managing those renovations, especially long distance. Contractors like to take advantage of it, but I'll have a whole video on managing contractors and doing value add out of state. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys made it this far, like, subscribe. I'm really hoping to use this as like a diary of mine. So later, as I continue scaling, I can look back and follow these projects one by one. Yeah, if you have any questions, put them in the comments down below. I'll be sure to get back to them. And yeah, hope you enjoyed.